Today, we begin inside Milimani High Court, where a legal fight that goes to the very heart of Kenya's constitution took a dramatic new turn. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the man who made history as the first sitting deputy president to be impeached in this country, has just scored a significant earlier victory in his court battle to challenge that very same impeachment. A three-judge bench has ruled out that a critical piece of evidence, a sworn affidavit detailing Gachagua's health condition on the time Parliament removed him from office, will remain on the court records. Parliament's lawyers fought very hard to have it thrown out, but they failed. And buried inside that document is allegation so serious it has the potential to reshape this entire case. We will get into that in a moment. Let's explain exactly what we are talking about. Gachagua's legal team filed what is known as a supplementary affidavit. That is additional sworn evidence introduced after the original court documents. The affidavit focuses on one specific period, October 2024, the weeks when Parliament was moving to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. His lawyers argued that during those crucial days, Rigathi Gachagua was unwell and was admitted at hospital, that his illness affected his ability to properly participate in and defend himself during the impeachment process. But here is where this story takes a startling turn. That same affidavit reportedly contained an allegation that President William Ruto personally conducted Karen Hospital to inquire about Gachagua's health status during the period in question. Think about that. Think about what it means. If it is true, and we stress this is an allegation that has not been verified or tested in court, it raises a deeply uncomfortable question. Was the president monitoring its own deputy president health while simultaneously overseeing a process to remove him from office? You know, that is what that additional affidavit is talking about. Parliament lawyers say that allegations alone is reasons enough to throw the affidavit out. They say it requires independent verification. That cannot simply be accepted without scrutiny. That phrase widens interest of justice. It is important. It signals that this court is not prepared to allow procedural agreement to block potential significant evidence in a case of this magnitude. A parliament was not finished Senior counsel Tom Ojienda mounted a direct attack on Gachagua's creditability, not just on the affidavit, but on the entire timeline his legal team as presented. Ojienda pointed out that the time Gachagua was said to have spent in the Senate during the impeachment proceedings contradicted submission his own lawyers, senior counsel Paul Mwite, had made before the House in 2024. In plain terms, Ojienda was telling the court that Gachagua's account does not match his own team earlier statement. That the story about where he was, what condition he was in, has been told differently at different times. But here is the bigger picture that every Kenyan watching this needs to understand. You must understand that this is not a simple case about one man's career or one man's health. This is a case that will determine what the Constitution of Kenya actually means when it comes to the removal of deputy president from his seat. So Rigathi Gachagua, as you know, was impeached in October 2024. The first ever deputy president in this country and in African history to be removed through the constitutional process. But his lawyers have argued from the beginning that the process was rushed, that the process was manipulated, that it was politically motivated, that it denied him a fair opportunity to defend himself. If this court ultimately agrees, the consequences reach far beyond Gachagua. It will put every future parliament on notice that the power to impeach is not unlimited, that it has boundaries, that the court are watching. So today's ruling is one battle won in a long war. The affidavit states the health narrative is now formally before the court, and the allegations about President Ruto's alleged contact with current hospital, whether it can be proved, whether it will be tested, whether it holds, that is a question Milimani High Court will now have to answer. We will be watching, and so you should be following.